Oh, yeah, it's probably lagging because... Oh, yeah, fuck. That makes sense. Sorry. That was retarded. Because I'm saturating my downstream. Okay, let's go through this post, okay? Alright, are you ready? Wait, hold on, wait a minute. I think today is the day I disassemble my science from this space. Would just any keyboard in that price range work at like a music store? I don't know. I like weighted keys and I like good keyboard sounds. Those are my two important things, are weighted keys and good keyboard sounds. Those are the two big memes for me, okay? I'm working on it, Proteus. My next step, Proteus, is to do science. Look, I've got all my independent science labs set up. I've been told weighted keys are good. How can I judge good keyboard sounds? I don't know. You have to listen to it and see what the fuck you like, my dude. Alright, guys. We're going hard on this Game of Thrones discussion, okay? I'm tired of your bullshit. I'm tired of you fucking fake fans. You fucking aspy retards. We're going real big, okay? Oh shit, is the Destiny 2 beta available? What are we warning shots are not a thing. You don't fire warning shots in real life. Are we being real right now? If you take out a gun, you're taking it out to fucking kill somebody, not to fire fucking warning shots. We're discussing the technical legality of it. Oh. Turn up the bitrate? No, fuck you. Once enough people have rolled in, we'll begin, okay? Wait for 1,000 people. Then we're gonna talk about why Game of Thrones is shit, and you should be ashamed for enjoying it.
Hey Destiny, I live in Houston and I am flooded in. Even sadder news, I lost my Blue Angel Ford Street due to high water feels. Thanks for streaming and keeping my mind busy. Anyways, dude, enjoy the day.
Damn, that sucks, my dude. I'm sorry. I can't even imagine how shitty that must feel. What the fuck was that noise? Is it the League launcher? Bring me my fucking landfill, you cucks. Do you think I've killed 1,000,000 monsters yet? How do you see? 997k, goddamn, of these dudes. Are you doing season 8 spoilers? Oh no, probably not. Is there any challenge at this point in Factorio? Well, there's not supposed to be a challenge, you're just building shit. Is there a challenge in Minecraft? Oh yeah, give me that landfill. There we go. Wait, that guy's name in my chat, Dark and Full of Terrors. Is that a Game of Thrones quote? Or is that like a popular quote from beforehand? I feel like you've been in my chat for longer than Game of Thrones, but I could be wrong. Before that lady appeared. I know that it's a Game of Thrones quote, you fucking retards. I'm just asking if that's where its fucking name came from. Holy fucking autism. I love banning Dransaga in chat. God, it brings me such joy. Okay. Here we go. Ready? I don't know why people even listen to Destiny talking about Game of Thrones. He's so... Okay, we'll skip this meme. He rambled on about how the Unsullied were at the battle. How would they have gotten back if their boats were destroyed and if the Lannister army was blocking them? Like, nigga, did you not watch the show at all? The Lannisters abandoned Castle Rock, went to Highgarden, and took the gold, and then retreated all their forces back to King's Landing. There was nothing trapping us. Okay, so we have two different things going on, okay? I know this is really hard for some people to understand because some of us have a lot of autism, okay? But I'm going to try to explain this the best that I can, okay? So we have what occurs in a show, okay? We have, like, what actually happens and what we can, like, logically deduce and whatnot, right? Based on our cognitive abilities. And then we have, like, what is the director or the writer or the producer, whoever the fuck ultimately decides what we see on screen, what are they trying to show us? Okay? What is the point of what we're watching? Okay? These are kind of two separate things. Ideally, they convey the same message, but not always. Okay? And in this case, they didn't. So, I don't have the scene offhand. Okay? But here's my question to you. Okay? Conjo2, or anybody in chat. Okay? My problem is not that it is physically impossible for the army to get from Casterly Rock to wherever the fuck King's Landing, okay? It's not that it's impossible for them to do that, or whether or not there was necessarily an army holding them there or not. My question is, what the fuck was the point of the fleet being destroyed? Right now, does it matter if that fleet was destroyed or not? Because when we saw the scene in the show, it looked, the message that was being conveyed on screen was that the fact that that fleet had came and ambushed all their ships and blown it up, that was supposed to be a really big deal, right? It seemed like that was a really big deal. It was conveyed with edgy music. Everybody seemed surprised and shocked. They spent money on CGI for a big scene to show all the ships burning. But ultimately, did it even fucking matter at all? Like, was Dany really pressured anywhere? Not really. No, I guess she had to spend a couple extra days in Stannis' old crib, kind of hanging out. But, like, did it really cost her anything? No. Like, did they lose a lot of people in their army? No. Like, did losing the fleet compromise their ability to do some other type of action? No. Like, there wasn't a point to this. Like, after the fleet that carried the Unsullied was destroyed, somehow the Dothraki horde was able to get to the mainland and destroy Jaime's army with the dragon. Yeah, and maybe she only sent part of the Dothraki over there or something. Or I don't even know how the Dothraki were able to get to the mainland because some of their boats were destroyed. I don't know. There was just no point, right? So people are saying she felt under pressure to act, so she did the dragon thing. It caused her to bring her dragon into battle. I mean, I guess. Was that really, like, the only stated reason why she brought the dragons? Did they even really need the dragons? The Dothraki horde seemed like they could fuck shit up anyway. It's not like she lost any of her dragons or anything. Like, the problem is just that a lot of the stuff that's shown in the show is just kind of feels like kind of non sequitur. Like, well, this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. And they're not really connected that much. I guess they kind of are. Maybe we can throw, like, one shitty line of dialogue in to kind of string it together. Like, oh, look, she's real mad. So now instead of winning the fight easily with the Dothraki, now she's going to win the fight easily with the Dothraki and her dragon. Like, it just seems kind of shitty. It just seems like nothing really matters that much, right? It almost, yeah. That's kind of my point in bringing that up. It's not like, well, is it physically impossible? I mean, if you want to talk about physical possibilities, the idea that they needed a fleet to get all of their army there and then somehow they march it all back without like no supply lines and no food, but nobody cares about that shit anyway. But if you want to get like really pedantic, that's probably fucking retarded anyway. Well, maybe they had a bunch of food saved in Casterly Rock. Well, then why the fuck did they abandon Casterly Rock? You don't think they would have taken the supplies with them if it was all a giant fucking bait? Like, sounds a little bit retarded, but okay. But yeah. It's like a game of Death's Phone where he receives some information and tries to talk about it 10 seconds. Okay. Then he complains about how dumb Danny was for bringing her 2 dragons instead of just 1. Like, how can you complain about that? Why would you not bring your 2 dragons to murder everyone if they try anything? What does she need? What do you mean? I just thought it was dumb to bring 2 dragons because 2 is such an odd number. Like, that was so predictable. It was so predictable. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, Cersei's going to say, like, oh, wow, well, she's missing a dragon. I know. Like, it was really obvious. Like, I don't know. It just seems dumb to show up, like, full force and you bring 2 dragons. Like, it's pretty fucking obvious that you're missing one. Like, you don't think anybody would notice? I don't know. It just seemed kind of dumb. I mean, but Dany's kind of a dumb fucking bitch. So, anyway, so, like, Destiny, they said they took all the supplies from Casterly Rock. Oh, the Lannister army did? Oh, so then I don't even know how the army got back. But it's whatever. I don't care. It's just stupid. But anyway, yeah, I thought that bringing 2 dragons just seemed a little dumb. Like, you're trying to show, like, how good you are, but you're missing one? Like, oof, okay. How can you complain about that? Yeah, I don't know. Then there was the dick sucking of Littlefinger, the guy he imagines himself to be. Why didn't Littlefinger immediately recognize that Bran was an omnipotent wizard the moment he randomly said chaos is a ladder and stop all this scheming with Sansa and Arya? Come on, guys. He must have been able to deduce that from some seemingly random words from some deranged kid who has been living in the forest for the past few years about a conversation he had years ago that had no meaningful impact on his life, obviously. So this is where autism kicks in, okay? I didn't know what the point of this scene was. I thought the point of this scene, the idea communicated to me, I guess there are 2 ways that it can go. And honestly, I should have read it the first way. The first way is just that, oh, he looks at him because he's so mysterious. Because that's what this fucking stupid-ass, dumbass fucking show is. I thought that it was a look of like, I thought that it was Littlefinger realizing, oh, holy shit, this guy might have some crazy fucking powers. I thought that's what this look was supposed to be.
This is for you.
When he... Hold on.
I can only imagine. Chaos is a ladder.
When he does this.
To go through all of that and make your way home again only to find such chaos in the world. I can only imagine. Chaos is a ladder.
We get the music playing in the background. We get the close-up shot of the face. We get the all cleverness and smile or whatever disappearing from his face. I thought that this scene communicates to me, and again, maybe I'm just looking too much into it. Oh, you can't hear? Wait, what?
I can only imagine.
Yes, you can. Fuck off, retard. Fix your volume. I figured that this scene was communicating here. I thought that it was communicating that Littlefinger realizes, oh, okay, something is very, very, very different on this, right? But I know that part of the problem with autism is dealing with facial expressions and understanding social situations and whatnot. That was I don't think it's unfair for me to say that that was what was communicated here.
Chaos is a ladder.
Look at the close-up of the face. Look at the total smile, joy, cleverness disappearing, and then I thought that something was happening here.
I'm sorry to have disturbed you, Lodestar.
And then he leaves after. I thought that that's what happened here. That Littlefinger had some understanding that something was very off here. So for him to go full thing ahead or whatever into his scheming kind of bothered me. So the problem is that he's trying to act like why didn't Littlefinger immediately recognize blah 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 blah. What this guy doesn't realize is that for the first several seasons of the show, Littlefinger is arguably the smartest and most powerful character in the entire show. I don't imagine myself to be Littlefinger. I don't know if that's like something he thinks I'm doing, but does anybody disagree with that? Right? Littlefinger set into motion pretty much everything that we see in the show. The entire dispute between the Lannisters and the Starks has pretty much been set into motion from Littlefinger, and Littlefinger has been constantly positioning himself throughout the entire show to accumulate more and more and more and more and more power. So the idea that he's an idiot, and from nothing too, right? Like Littlefinger didn't come from nobility, he didn't come from riches or whatever. Like, Littlefinger had a plan, like, the entire fucking time. So, the fact that he just gets killed off by the omnipotent Bran, whose omnipotence is selectively revealed, I guess, is just kind of irritating. It feels like Littlefinger stepped out of The Wire and stepped into Lord of the Rings and then got killed by, like, a wizard or some bullshit, or Sauron, you know? But isn't the point of that scene plus the last episode is to show Littlefinger's mistake? He probably thought the idea that Bran was on him but dismissed it. Why? I mean, how many big mistakes does Littlefinger make besides this? Are you not bothered by the fact that every Lord in the North watched the Protector of the Vale get sentenced with no proof by 3 children and nobody said anything? Yeah, I don't know. Is it really that crazy to believe that someone who basically conned his way to being Lord of the Vale would be a bit overconfident? What? Of course. Well, he's never had these problems in the past. Like, how do you feel about Jon not being a bastard? Oh, I mean, he still is, isn't he? Wait, I thought these two people were the same people. Are the Konzo and Konjo 2 different people? I thought these guys are the same people. Fuck. Oh, crazy. Weird. Oh, that was really it? Oh, okay. Why would Rhaegar start a civil war over a woman who isn't even that hot? Good question. When did you stop enjoying the show the way you used to? As soon as all of the really intelligent characters started to get cucked and moved into unintelligent areas. Like Tyrion. Like, as soon as Tyrion... I think Tyrion going to die in the lands of fucking Daenerys is one of the worst parts of the show. I think Daenerys is one of the worst characters, so... Or maybe even the worst main character, probably. Daenerys is like the ultimate, like, for a show or a whatever whose, like, entire thing was, like, the subversion of tropes, like, Dany is, like, the most tropish character in existence. Dany in the books is much better. Maybe, I don't know. But, wait, what was the question? Oh, what am I doing? Oh, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the Dany bitch is just irritating. She doesn't earn anything Everything is handed to her. She's the ultimate, like, check out this plot device character. I don't know. Fuck Danny. Don't I have, like, a thing? When is Stannis coming back? I don't know. He should be back pretty soon, right? We're getting pretty late into the show. Gilly is a hot as fuck actress, but they make her look retarded in the show. Well, that's because she's supposed to be like an incest kid or whatever, right? God, fuck, I hate this fucking thing. Ugh. What if Stannis was in the box they showed to Cersei? Holy shit, that would be fucking awesome. You said you would read this article. I don't care about the differences between book and... Okay, I read it. Gotcha. Do you not have glassware? I do, but why would I dirty dishes when I can just use a fucking paper plate or paper cup? Do you think Jon or Dany will die? I don't know, probably. Wait, can somebody link the end of the episode? Did the guys really say that they had to kill a dragon because they felt like nobody died? Is that actually true, or is that a meme? Paraphrasing, but it was memes. GRRM gave the writers certain key events that they needed to happen in the plot. Aside from those events, they have complete freedom to pick the path, I think. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Or that's what it sounds like people are saying, at least. What do you think about all the fan theories that try to cover for plot holes? I don't know, dude. People gotta rationalize their shit, right? Littlefinger won't die a cuck in the books, neither will Stannis. Stannis is the ultimate cuck. Holy shit. Do you think Tormund is dead? What? No, of course not. I can't believe the Sand Snake lady and her daughter are dead. I thought something was gonna happen with that, but I guess they're just dead, and we just have to assume that. I didn't realize that that was gonna be the thing. Rip. Wait, they are? Yeah, they're just dead. I guess the actresses and the writers or whatever like said that they're just dead. You're just supposed to assume you're never gonna see them again. Where the fuck is the red woman? Yeah, I don't know. Or what about Yara? Destiny, did you see this? You're right to ban Orn every time. Of course, I was right. $17.21%. What are drone things doing? They're building my tracks. They're bringing my shit. Euron teleported Yara back to the Iron Islands. Nice. I thought this Theon scene was a pretty good payout. I actually thought the Theon scene was pretty well done, but a lot of people apparently really fucking hated it, so... Rip. About naming John Aegon, even though Rhaegar already had one son named Aegon? I don't know. Maybe that, like, that was the son since John had in hiding, he named the... I don't even know. I'm not sure. Why did the rest of the crew in the last scene suddenly really want to save the sister when they were all about to piss off just because Theon beat up son? I don't know. The Iron Island dudes probably all are retarded a little bit. They're like super gung-ho. Like, this was my issue. This is one of the biggest problems that I had with the show. People tell me I'm wrong because of the books or whatever, but I'm not wrong as far as the show goes. As far as the show goes, all indicators pointed to the fact that Yara was a highly, highly, highly respected person on the Iron Islands. I guess some people are saying, well, women can't rule, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if maybe that's true in the books, but in the show, Yara seemed to be a very, very, very respected member of the Iron Islands. So I thought it was really weird when Euron showed up and just like ultra cucked her. And he was like, hey, yeah, fuck this bitch, huh? And everybody's like, oh, yeah, fuck that bitch. And then it was like, okay, well, that's kind of weird. It seems like everybody on the island, like, really, really, really respected her. I don't understand how she got, like, ultra cucked so quickly, but okay. And then now she got, like, reverse cucked. Now everybody's like, oh, yeah, even though these people all picked Euron to lead them over Yara, and we're going to go hunt Theon and Yara to death because Theon beat up some dude, now they're all like, oh, yeah, for Yara. It's like, oh, interesting. Okay. Those were the dudes with Yara and Theon the whole time? Oh, there was just that same crew of people, I guess? How'd you feel about the Cersei and Tyrion dialogue scene? Good. I thought the Cersei, Tyrion, and the Jaime Cersei scenes were all really well done. I miss a Tyrion getting to interact with people that weren't random fucking retards. What the fuck? Oh my god, I just fucked that up. What do you think of the shots of Tyrion standing outside Jon and Dany's room while they had sex? Maybe to show that Tyrion understands that Jon and Dany are a couple now or something. I don't know, maybe so that you're just supposed to know that Tyrion knows. Oh, I'm getting really tired. This is a problem that Game of Thrones has always had. This has actually been a problem with Game of Thrones for a long time. It's not just this season. I'm really tired of these random, like, super strong armies always existing where they need to, but nobody seems to care about them until a certain character brings them up. It happened with Dany a lot, right? Where they're in some strange land and it's like, oh, well, there's a super strong army with good generals, and then the guy backstabs the dudes and comes like, oh, I'm now your general. And it's like, oh, well, there's another super strong army, one of the strongest in the world, the Unsullied. It's like, oh, okay. Oh, there's super strong riders, the Dothraki. Oh, they're super. It's like, okay. And now there's like Essos, the super strong army of the world. It's like, okay, they've never done anything. No one's talked about them or mentioned it. They're just like kind of like invented armies. Like, look, oh, the super strong Essos army. Like, okay. Feels a little bit like I'm watching like Yu Yu Hakusho or some other random shonen where there's always like the next strongest like army thing. It's just kind of like waiting to be talked about or something. All of these armies and companies are canon in the books. Yeah, I guess, but like nobody else ever thinks to like if the SS bullshit is so strong and so powerful, then why hasn't Dany gone over and used her boobs to like win him over or whatever, since she's done that with every other fucking thing, right? Like, because she has no money? Who the fuck cares? And she should have money. She's captured how many fucking cities? She can't use any of those to fucking do anything? Shouldn't she be actually be like pretty wealthy at this point? How many fucking cities did she didn't she capture? Wasn't Marine supposed to be one of the richest member cities with the big fucking pyramid and shit? With all the cities and shit she captured, she couldn't scrounge up the gold to hire the Essos people? Like, how unaffordable are their services if a queen that rules like all these massive cities and has these 100,000 strong army can't afford them? How much do these guys cost? Like, what the fuck? Why would Danny hire them? Well, why not? If they're like the strongest army ever. You say, why would Danny hire them now? But I'm willing to bet that in the show that these guys are going to play a big role and that they're going to be saying some things like, Danny, there's going to be some scene, quote me now, where they're going to attack something or somebody's going to have it and be like, oh, we either can't do this because they've got the Essos dudes who are some of the strongest in the land, or it's going to be like, oh no, like we got a surprise attack by soldiers that were way stronger than we thought, the Essos people. It's like, oh, these people that have never been mentioned or brought up in the entire history of the show until now when it's convenient. Like, she already has a large army and she has to worry about army upkeep. Really? Army upkeep? That's a really big thing in Game of Thrones now, my dude. Let's be real, my dude. It feels like you're at the point where you feel obligated to hate on the show for each minor issue. I'm pointing out minor things right now, but my problems have always been major problems with the show. I don't know why people feel that way. If you still like it, that's fine. But don't sit here and pretend that my only gripes with the show are minor. My gripes are pretty fucking major. Like, my problem is that nothing is being written up to like what it used to be. The world used to be an incredibly interconnected, complicated place, and now it's just kind of like a big fucking meme world where everybody's kind of a trope and they walk around with massive fucking plot armor and nothing really has to make much sense anymore. Nothing is really explained that much. Like, it's a big difference to what it used to be. I'm not just like, this isn't like my problem with like minor gripes or whatever. How did Cersei buy the Essos army? Didn't she lose the gold to the dragon / Dothraki battle? Oh, they're probably going to say like she got the gold there earlier and they were just moving the rest of the stuff or something, is my guess. Oh my god, did I just fuck up? Oh wait, no, never mind. They already said that? Oh yeah, there you go. I also don't, I think there needed to be more justification given. Why the fuck would the Iron Bank back? A woman who doesn't have dragons and who's fucking crazy. But I don't know. Uh-oh. That already had a power pull. The Bravosi hate dragons and the Targaryens as well. Is that really explained that much? Or ever? Or do you just know that because you're a little book cooker? A little cook. Ah. Was the big rebellion meme, was that really all just because of that fucking chick? I don't remember the beginning of this show well enough. Because Robert thought that Ileana, what the fuck was her name, was kidnapped and raped or whatever by that one Targaryen dude. Damn, what a dumb fuck. Huh. Wait, why are you acting like you're coming from this way? That's not where you're coming from. Stop. The realm was pretty upset at the Mad King before. Oh, yeah. But that's what caused specifically the Baratheon dude to go full memes. Those are not supposed to be chains, Destiny. What's not supposed to be chains? Oh, these signals. No, they're not. You're right.
It is the year 262 after Aegon's conquest.
Wow.
35 years prior to the events that take place at the start of Game of Thrones. Aerys Targaryen, the second of his name, ascends to the Iron Throne in King's Landing. During the first years of his reign, the Seven Kingdoms were thriving, and the ambitious young king strived to maintain prosperity. The majority of the old administration was replaced with fresh faces. Shortly, Aerys befriended a young knight, Sir Tywin Lannister, heir of Casterly Rock. Being impressed by the Lannisters' administrative prowess and ruthlessness, he soon brought Tywin to the royal court and appointed him as the Hand of the King. It was a smart move, as the new hand perfectly complemented the king's shortcomings, whose desire was to be the greatest ruler the Seven Kingdoms had ever seen. While Aerys boasted about his grandiose plans of building a new wall in the north, or a shiny marble city on the other bank of the Blackwater, it was Tywin who painstakingly worked to ensure that the kingdoms would actually thrive. Years passed, and it was slowly becoming obvious that the realm's prosperity was in fact solely due to Tywin's merit, though he gained little love for his service, as he was stern, insensitive, and brutally effective. Aerys had quickly grown jealous of his hand, and the relationship, which was never easy, complicated even more. The king's mental health degenerated over the years after multiple miscarriages and stillborns by his sister wife Rhaella, and the Duskend Dale mutiny, where Aerys was captured by the mutineers and imprisoned for half a year. Although Lord Tywin and Sir Barristan Selmy managed to free him, from then on the king feared for his life and didn't leave the Red Keep in King's Landing at all. His suspicious nature gradually plunged into paranoia, and Aerys slowly descended into madness. He soon started to thwart Tywin's actions as a hand and belittle his achievements. But even after the death of his beloved wife, Tywin stood firmly at the king's side. Yet things started to change in 281 AC, when King Aerys appointed Tywin's son and heir, 15-year-old Jaime Lannister, as the youngest ever member of the King's Guard. On the surface, it was a great honor for House Lannister, yet with this cunning move, Aerys stripped his hand of an heir. Lord Tywin, whose ambition was to restore the might of his house, was clearly enraged upon the king's decision and soon returned to Casterly Rock, giving up his position as royal councillor. It seemed that the Targaryen king finally accomplished his goal. Later that year, a great tournament in Harrenhal took place as part of the festivities celebrating the advent of spring, even though winter hit back twice as hard later that year. Anyway, many of the great lords gathered at Harrenhal, and even King Aerys himself attended the tourney. The day belonged to Prince Rhaegar Targaryen, heir to the crown, who managed to unhorse and defeat several renowned opponents. Yet after the last bout was won, the champion was allowed to choose a new queen of love and beauty. Surprisingly enough, Rhaegar rode past his own wife, Elia of Dawn, and bestowed the crown of blue roses to Lyanna Stark, daughter of the Lord of Winterfell. It was a scandalous act, not only because the crown prince was married, but also because Lyanna was already betrothed to Lord Robert Baratheon. Sometime later, Rhaegar and Lyanna met again near Harrenhal, and soon both disappeared, using the help of the King's Guard. While Rhaegar's behavior during the Harrenhal tournament seemed to be forgiven, the supposed abduction of Lyanna Stark was just too much to bear for her brother, Brandon Stark, heir of Winterfell. Brandon, together with his retinue, was on his way to wed Catelyn Tully in Riverrun, but as soon as he heard the news about his sister, he picked his best men and rode straight to the capital. He reached the gates of the Red Keep and, being unaware that the prince was not there, shouted for Rhaegar to come out, demanding his life. King Aerys had his company arrested for supposedly plotting the murder of the crown prince, and summoned his father to answer the alleged crimes. Lord Rickard Stark soon arrived in King's Landing with 200 men and demanded a trial by combat. The king granted his request, but chose fire as the royal champion. While the Lord of Winterfell was burnt alive, Brandon strangled himself to death, trying to rescue his suffering father. Not a single Northman who accompanied Brandon and Rickard to the capital.
How did he
would ever
strangle
see the North
himself to
again.
death trying to help his father? What?
Afterwards, King Aerys demanded Jon Arryn, Lord of the Vale, to send him the heads of Robert Baratheon and Eddard Stark, who were at the Eyrie and who were most likely eager to avenge the death of the Northmen. But Lord Arryn refused to do so, and instead raised his banners in an open rebellion. The ravens were sent to all houses across the Seven Kingdoms to gain the much-needed support to oppose the Mad King. But other than the North and the majority of the Vale, only some parts of the Stormlands and Riverlands agreed to join the cause. The rest either stood by the king's side, or, like Tywin Lannister, remained neutral. Ned Stark, now Lord of Winterfell, after the death of his father and older brother, travelled back home to gather an army in the north. Robert Baratheon did the same, and took a ship south. Meanwhile, Jon Arryn successfully retook the city of Gulltown, occupied by loyalist forces, and began to deal with those who failed to support the Overlord of the Vale. In the south, Robert encountered similar problems as Jon had, as some of the houses of the Stormlands neglected to gather forces to support their lord, and instead took the king's side. Yet Robert swiftly defeated his opponents in 3 separate encounters near Summerhall, and even managed to sway some of them to join the rebels' side. The next moons were marked by war preparations, and in late 282 AC, Robert finally departed Storm's End with his troops, marching to unite with the rebel forces in the north. Of course, those who remained loyal to the crown didn't just sit and wait. Fierce Lord Randall Tarley of Horn Hill, leading the vanguard of the combined forces from the Reach, ambushed Robert's troops near Ashford and dealt a considerable blow. The main force of the Loyalists, commanded by Lord Tyrell, eventually joined Tarley's vanguard. But Robert regrouped and managed to retreat north, despite the losses. The Lord of Highgarden eventually gave up the pursuit and decided to march east and soon besiege Storm's End, the garrison of which was commanded by Robert's younger brother, Stannis Baratheon. That wasn't the end of Robert's problems, though. The royal contingent under Lord John Connington departed the capital, hoping to intercept Robert's army. Connington traced them all the way to Stony Sept, where Robert tried to conceal himself using the help of the townsmen. Upon their arrival, the royal soldiers began to search for the rebels, but without much luck. 2 days later, the united rebel forces under Lords Stark and Tully arrived from the north and engaged the royal troops. Fierce fighting began amid the town's streets and alleys. It is said that Robert Baratheon stepped out of a brothel to join the battle and dueled Lord Connington, almost killing him. True or not, Connington saw that his men were losing to the larger rebel force and commanded a general retreat. This was the first major victory for the rebels' side in the war. When King Aerys heard that the royal troops had lost, he impulsively stripped Lord Connington of his lands and titles and had him exiled.
Begone thought.
He also began to realize that the rebellion was far more serious than he had thought and could actually threaten his position. The Mad King ordered his alchemists to cache wildfire pots in various parts of King's Landing in order to burn down the entire city in case of defeat. But the war wasn't lost yet, and Prince Rhaegar was summoned back to the capital, where he assembled another bigger army. Using strong contingents from the Reach and Dawn, and with help of loyal houses from all over the kingdom, he managed to gather some 40,000 men willing to defend the Iron Throne. Eventually, the royal army marched out of King's Landing in the middle of summer, heading north to quell the rebellion once and for all. The rebel force consisted predominantly of soldiers of the North, Vale, Stormlands, and Riverlands, though some of the houses of the latter three still supported King Aerys. The amassed rebel army counted to around 35,000 men in total, but what the rebel force lacked in numbers, it gained in battle experience and determination. When the scouts reported that Rhaegar's army was about to cross the Trident River, the rebels commanded by Robert marched to engage them. Battle ensued, just as the majority of the royal forces crossed the wide ford and were struck by the rebels. Tight combat raged for hours, as neither side was able to dominate the enemy. Even the successful charge led by the Valemen, which smashed the advancing right flank of Leowen Martell and killed the Dornish prince, couldn't turn the tide of the battle. Finally, somewhere in the center, Robert Baratheon reached the position of Crown Prince Rhaegar Targaryen and challenged him to single combat. Although Rhaegar managed to injure his opponent, Robert crushed the prince's chest with his warhammer in a killing blow.
Dumbass.
Rhaegar's armor shattered, and rubies encrusting his breastplate scattered all around. The death of the Crown Prince had an immediate effect on his troops. In a matter of minutes, all of the royal forces were in full rout, and the battle was essentially over. The rebels now had an unobstructed route straight to the capital. Upon hearing who won the Battle of the Trident, Lord Tywin Lannister joined the war, gathering his army in Casterly Rock and rushed east to capture King's Landing. Robert hadn't recovered from his injury yet and requested his friend Lord Ned Stark to lead the vanguard of the rebel army to reach the capital before Tywin. But it was the Lannisters who arrived first, and Tywin tricked the king, convincing him to open the city gates. While the capital was sacked and looted, with no regard for the life of its people, the remaining loyalist troops formed the last stand at the Red Keep. A few days prior to Tywin's arrival, King Aerys sent his wife and second son Viserys to the safety of Dragonstone Stronghold, yet refused to allow Rhaegar's wife Elia Martell and her children to leave with them, suspecting that Prince Leowen
Aaliyah? Isn't it Elia?
Martell betrayed Rhaegar at the Trident. Seeing that all hope was lost, Aerys ordered his master of pyromancers to ignite the wildfire and burn the city together with 500,000 of its inhabitants. Yet the lone member of the King's Guard guarding the king at the Red Keep, Sir Jaime Lannister, realized what Aerys wanted to do and rushed to save the city by killing the head pyromancer. Being afraid that the Mad King could order another alchemist to ignite the wildfire, Jaime made an uneasy decision, broke his oath, and slew the Mad King, avoiding such catastrophe. Lord Tywin had to quickly find a way to prove his loyalty to the victors, so he ordered his bannermen Gregor Clegane and Amory Lorch to murder Princess Elia Martell and her children. While Robert was crowned in King's Landing, being the only head of a great house truly wanting the Iron Throne, Ned Stark rode south, lifting the siege of Storm's End and reaching the Tower of Joy, where he found his sister Lyanna, dying with a child in her hands. The Mad King was dead, and the war was over. After almost 300 years of undisputed rule, House Targaryen no longer held the Iron Throne, and its last vestiges sought refuge in the east. The love affair between Rhaegar and Lyanna triggered the conflict that ultimately cost them their very lives, and set in motion the most fundamental shift of power in the Seven Kingdoms since Aegon's conquest, and setting the stage for the Game of Thrones.
Wow.
Okay, you can edit that out.
Wow. Good job, guys. We did it. So wait, Ned Stark happened upon Lyanna and took her child. Ned Stark wasn't even married to Catelyn yet? No, he must have been married at some point, right? Or he was married before he took the child, right? Because that was a big deal about him bringing back a bastard. We need this guy to make a video now to explain like what's currently happened. Do you think he has? Oh wait, this guy normally does like real battle memes, doesn't he? Oh, never mind then. Fuck.
It's October of the year 1097. The weary Crusader army approaches the Muslim units, dealing significant damage.
Muslims? I knew it. Alright, I love you guys. It's been fun. I'll be back in about an hour and a half, and then I think we'll do StarCraft tonight. Alright, be careful. Ripperino, cappuccino, puppuccino.